everybody, Ace Trainer Liam here, and welcome to the My Pokemon Team tag. Now this tag was started by Hoodlum Scrafty, and I was tagged by Mr. Cumbreon. It's a really simple tag project. There are only 4 questions, which are what trainer class would you be, how many Pokemon would you have, why would you have that many Pokemon, and what Pokemon would you have and why? I did something similar last year when I did the My Pokemon Gym tag, which you can check out here, but that was more about type specifics and gym themes and things like that, whereas this is just a team of Pokemon. I'm going to be doing this tag slightly different to the way everyone else has approached it, because they've been picking just sort of random Pokemon they like. I'm going to be picking Pokemon based on the ones that I use most often in my viewer Wi-Fi battles. If you've never taken part in a viewer Wi-Fi battle with me, follow the Twitch link in the description and go follow me on Twitch and find out when my next stream is, and you will get the chance to battle me and probably destroy me. So with that out of the way, let's get to the questions. Question 1 is, what trainer class would you choose? Obviously I'd choose Ace Trainer because I'm Ace Trainer Liam. I'll probably explain perhaps why I chose the name Ace Trainer Liam, which was simply I was looking for a trainer class that sounded cool to go with a Pokemon themed channel, and Ace Trainer just has a good ring to it. Ace Trainer Liam. It's not like, I don't think it's that easy of a name to forget. I see a lot of channels where their names are difficult to remember, and I feel that hurts them a little bit, but Ace Trainer Liam, people know that, it's easy. So, and thank you to the over 82,000 people that have remembered it. Love you guys. Other than that, I have been asked quite a few times, like, Liam, why'd you call yourself an Ace Trainer if you're not good at battling? But my argument to that is, you have to defeat Ace Trainers to proceed in the game. So I'm not supposed to be a good battler. I'm supposed to put up a fight, but I'm not supposed to defeat you. Cop-out answer? Maybe? So question 2 is, how many Pokemon would you have? And because I'm talking about my Wi-Fi battles, it's going to be 6 Pokemon. And then question 3 I've kind of already answered, which is, why would you choose those 6? It's because when I do Wi-Fi battles, I do 6 on 6. That's just the way I do it. So the final question is, what Pokemon are on your team and why did you choose them? So I'm going to go through a list of my 6 most used Pokemon when I do competitive battles, in no particular order. So first up, we've got a Noivern called Skyler, who is probably the Pokemon that I've had the longest in my competitive team. Like, I've always found a use for her from the start. I think even on my first ever Wi-Fi battle stream, I used my Noivern, so much love for her. Long-running Pokemon. Probably at this point, I think Noivern is my second favourite Pokemon of all time, so definitely has a place in my heart. So just a few facts about Skyler. She has the ability Infiltrator, which ignores the effects of Light Screen, Reflect, Safeguard and Mist, and also, I only recently found this out, ignores the effect of Substitute, which is super handy because so many people love to Substitute stall. I have her holding an Expert Belt because it makes super effective moves that little bit more powerful, which especially helps with one of her moves in particular, which I'll get to in a bit. And the move she has is Boom Burst, because why would you have a special attacking Noivern that doesn't have Boom Burst? You are stupid if you don't. Draco Meteor, which I kind of use as a last ditch effort. I'll always try and use Boom Burst first, and then, because Draco Meteor reduces special attack, so every time you're using Draco Meteor, you're reducing the amount of damage your speedy Noivern can do, which is kind of stupid. Air Slash is pretty obvious because a Pokemon that outspeeds most Pokemon, using a move that has a chance to flinch and has stab, it's kind of a no-brainer. Now, for the longest time, I did have Skyler using Hidden Power Poison as her final move, because Hidden Power Poison is super effective against Fairy types, and then with the Expert Belt, it's just that little bit more powerful. But I've found, even then, it doesn't do enough damage to Fairy types to really warrant using it. It's better to just obviously switch out, use someone else. Although it did used to take a decent amount of damage out of Xerneas, which is also good. But I've gone back to her old final move, which is Flamethrower, just because I like the coverage of it, and I also like that it has the chance to burn, which then helps out another of my Pokemon, which we'll get to in a little bit. Next up, we have Aerodactyl, who is my Aerodactyl, actually named by my fans because of one particular battle where it kept using Rock Slide and kept getting the flinch over and over and over. I think it got like 3 or 4 turns where it made both the opponent's Pokemon flinch in a double battle, which was just amazing. And that pretty much cemented Aerodactyl as a permanent member of my team. Obviously holding Aerodactylite so that it can Mega Evolve, because there's no point using Aerodactyl if it's not Mega Evolve. Obviously Mega Aerodactyl's ability is Tough Claws, which means that moves that make direct contact do more damage, which is perfect. I actually have my Aerodactyl trained in defense and special defense, but I've thought about switching that up. Just actually makes Aerodactyl that little bit bulkier, and it means it can survive just that little bit longer. So if someone does have any electric type attacks available or rock type attacks, it can handle it for the most part, which is really handy. In terms of moves, I have Aerial Ace, which a lot of people would be like, why are you using Aerial Ace of all moves? but it's a move that makes direct contact, thus it does more damage because of Tough Claws, and it never misses. Doesn't matter if you lower the accuracy, Aerial Ace will never miss, and that is very important when you're doing competitive battles. We have Thunderfang to protect against pesky water types, and also for hopefully the chance to paralyze people, because then we can get some Paraflinch going on. Rock Slide, of course, is the #1 move for it, stab attack, and it can flinch, and Aerodactyl, especially Mega Aerodactyl, is pretty damn fast, so there is a lot of flinch chance going on. And just to point out, that's with no investment in speed EVs. Like, Aerodactyl is fast with no investment into speed. It's bizarre. And of course, finally, Iron Head, so we can take out other rock types, ice types, fairy types, you name it, we can do it. And again, it's a physical contact move. Tough Claws. My god, this thing is powerful. Next up, we have my Electivire called Armstrong, who's another long-standing veteran of my team. I call him Armstrong because Buzz Aldrin was the second man on the moon. Buzz is kind of like electric, and then who was the first man on the moon? Neil Armstrong. Easy, right? He's got the ability Motor Drive because Vital Spirit kind of is okay, you know, it prevents you from falling asleep, but Motor Drive is really, really handy when somebody attacks you with an electric type move and you switch into your Electivire, gets hit by the electric type move, and bam, his speed goes up. Absolutely awesome. And currently I've got him holding a King's Rock because then the moves that he has that don't make opponents flinch have the power to flinch opponents, which is great because he's quite speedy. His IVs are invested in speed and physical attack so that he can just get in there, annihilate people, and that was all she wrote. And move-wise, he gets such a good varied move pool that he can be used in any situation. So you've got Thunder Punch for stab, obviously. You've got Ice Punch, taking out flying types, taking out ground types, his biggest fear. Taking out dragons, for crying out loud. And of course, grass types. My favourite thing with him actually is when someone starts off with Sceptile, and you kind of know if someone sends in a Sceptile, 9 times out of 10, it's going to Mega Evolve on the first turn. So bam, you choose Ice Punch, they Mega Evolve into a 4 times weak to Ice Pokemon, Grass and Dragon, and then boom! Ice Punch hits first, because my Electivire is so fast, down goes Sceptile, can't be used for the rest of the battle. It's a beautiful thing. And then finally, we have Cross Chop and Rock Slide. I mean, Rock Slide's obvious because it has the chance to flinch, but also it's just really handy for taking out multiple Pokemon. And Cross Chop takes out your Dark types, takes out your Ice types, takes out normal types. Whoa, almost forgot. But yeah, he's just a great all-round Pokemon. Next up we have Chandelure, the Chandelure, who obviously has the ability Flame Body because for the move setup that I have for Chandelure, the chance to burn is so important. I have her trained up in speed and special attack because she's pretty nippy, and not to mention special attack, she is absolutely boss. And of course it means she can hit hard. Again, she's kind of a glass cannon, but that's kind of the way I roll. Go in all guns blazing and just try and annihilate everything as quickly as possible. I've got her holding an air balloon so that one of her few weaknesses she's protected against, which is ground type moves. A lot of people will try and use Earthquake to try and take her out, but no go, mate. And the good thing is with the air balloon is it pops obviously after you've been hit with a particular move, but she'll have been knocked out by then anyway by a different move, so that's kind of how I roll with it. Move-wise, she's got Will-O-Wisp. Obviously, you want to burn something, half their attack, so that's going to help you last that a little bit longer, if you've not already been burned by Flame Body. She's got Flamethrower, so that she can do some damage to Pokemon that are weak to fire, but also get the chance to burn again, very important, because you also have Hex, which does double damage if the opponent has a status condition. So if Flamethrower, Will-O-Wisp, or Flame Body has burned the opponent, she's going to swoop right in with Hex and take that opponent out in one hit. Very, very easily. And finally, she has Confuse Ray, because if ever she's faced with a Pokemon that she's got a disadvantage again, let's take a chance. Let's confuse it. We might just get that extra turn to use Will-O-Wisp and then Hex. And there you go. Next up we have ATL2, the Porygon 2. For people who don't get this nickname, it's really obvious when you think about it, because I'm a Star Wars fan. Porygon is kind of a science fiction-y type Pokemon. R2-D2 is in the Star Wars universe. ATL are the initials of Ace Trainer Liam, and then 2 from Porygon 2. ATL2. Dead easy. ATL2 has the ability Download, which means when it faces an opponent, it will determine whether it needs to raise its attack or raise its special attack. With me having this Pokemon as a special attacker, it's really, really lucky for me if I do get a raise in special attack, because that just means this thing's gonna own. And of course it's holding Eviolite because it's not a fully evolved Pokemon, and not to mention it's so bulky. I have this IB trained in defense and special defense, just that little bit, just to make it that little bit bulkier, and also in special attack, just to make sure it can hit as hard as it can. Move-wise, I've given him Psychic because it protects us against fighting types, and as well it also does a lot of damage against poison types, which are fairly common. Then we've got Ice Beam, which protects against grass types, flying types, ground types, just all that good coverage, plus the chance to freeze an opponent, which is really, really handy. I did have Shadow Ball on him for a while because I thought, you know, someone has a ghost type attacking and then I send in my normal type, the ghost type moves won't hit, then we can use a ghost type move to take the ghost type out, but people are just going to adjust to that way too easily, so I thought just go Ice Beam, why not? It's nice, it's reliable, it's got good accuracy. Then we have Signal Beam. Again, it does damage grass types, but it also affects psychic types, and of course it has the ability to confuse, which is very, very handy. And of course Recover, because what do you do with a bulky Pokemon to really, really make sure that you can survive? Recover its HP. And finally we have the king of my team, my absolute favourite Pokemon to use in battle ever. If ever I do a list of my favourite Pokemon to use in battle, this guy's number one. Rolo, the Sea King. Now Rolo has the Lightning Rod ability, which is so useful, especially with the fact that I have him trained in defense, special defense to make him that little bit bulkier, and of course just that little bit in physical attack to make him just that little bit physically stronger. Some of you are like, wait, Lightning Rod means that if someone uses an electric type move on the field, it will get absorbed by Rolo and he will then get a boost in special attack. But your Sea King is physical attacking, Liam, so what's the point of that? I use Lightning Rod purely as a defense. I don't use it as a stat booster. Because if you look at Sea King's stats, special attack, it's quite lacking compared to its physical capabilities. So I prefer to have it as a hard-hitting physical attacker than worry about potentially getting an electric attack used on the off chance and then getting that boost. I'd much rather that just be there as, you know, I can guarantee no electric attack is going to be used in battle. That's fine. And it means he's only weak to grass, which is even better. Pokemon with one weakness or less are fantastic. Now I have him holding Leftovers, which ties in with his first move, which is Aqua Ring, because Aqua Ring plus Leftovers means quite a significant chunk of HP is restored every turn. Add that to his next move, Protect, which means that on a particular turn I can get a boost from Aqua Ring, a boost from Leftovers, then Protect on the next turn, another boost from Aqua Ring, another boost from Leftovers. It's really handy. And then Waterfall, because obviously we're going to use a physical water type move, and in my opinion Waterfall is the most reliable physical water type move, and also of course it has the chance to flinch, so in the rare occasion that Rolo outspeeds something, we could flinch it, which could work in our favour because it gives us more turns again to survive and use those health restore boosts. And finally, I gave him Mega Horn. A lot of people would say, why didn't you give him Poison Jab, Liam? It has a chance to poison. But for me, I prefer Mega Horn because it has more base power. It's still super effective against grass types, so you got more chance of taking them down. But similarly, it's super effective against psychic types. And with Mega Horn, my boy Rolo has taken down Mewtwo. It's taken down Deoxys. It can kill legendary Pokemon, which is absolutely awesome, and that's why I freaking love it, especially with Mega Horn. So now comes the part where I'm supposed to tag people, so I'm going to tag PD Winnel, Candy Eevee, and my fellow Liam, Unlawful Exile. So you guys can do this tag, and everybody that's watching, feel free to do this tag. Let's see how many people can do it, and what awesome teams we can check out. Thank you for watching, guys. I've been Ace Trinilium, and until next time, keep on training.